So I have been listening to you guys probably about a year and a half now, almost 2 years. Definitely feel a huge change in my alignment.
What we want to talk to you about is any shift that you felt today.
Today, yes, I feel that at this point in my life right now that I am at a very even kill. I feel very in alignment with where I'm at by listening to kind of the conversations that are happening right now. But my question is...
That's a good place to be, isn't it? Because it is entering the field of attraction in a good place, isn't it? When you're like that, then the things that come into your life experience make sense. What were you going to say?
Well, my question is, I feel as though because I'm in like this even pace,
Even pace, is that a bad thing?
No, but what I'm thinking as humans, we are constantly reaching for something more.
Well, as beings, that's
Correct.
true too. You can't stop that evolution, so that's always happening.
Correct.
Is something bothering you about it? Does it feel like you're not reaching hard enough?
Yes, it feels like there's an expectation to be reaching for more than where I'm at right now.
We really want to have this conversation with you because we talked just a little bit ago about step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and step 1, 2, 3 are the primary process for deliberate creation. And step 1 is ask, and step 2 is source answers, and step 3 is you got to line up with what you've asked for. And so what happens is when you've asked and you're in alignment and things are coming, most humans don't realize what's unfolding unless it's not. When you come into alignment with who you are, it's like, not the perfect analogy, but it sort of gives you the idea. When you're in an airplane going 500 miles an hour and you're at 20 or 30,000 feet in the air and you look out the window, it can feel normal. But if you put that aircraft on the ground at that speed, it wouldn't feel normal. In other words, the relationship thing would feel very uncomfortable. So when you have desires that you're in alignment with, it's like you don't even notice your speed. But when you have desires that you're not in alignment with, then you notice your speed or lack of it. And you're so used to measuring what's working and not working from the negative end of the stick that now you're more on the positive end of the stick. You don't realize how well things are working. So all you have to do is just make a simple request. I want to be aware of new things that are happening for me, new ideas that are coming. We know for sure that if we spend a little bit of time here, we're not going to spend much time here, but if we had an hour together, that you would name 50 things, minimum of 50 things that you can feel, that you're feeling an eagerness for, that are not really normal to you. But when you're standing in this attitude of, I'm satisfied, there is no better place to be than where you are. There is no better place to be than satisfied and eager for more. But what you're trying to say to us is something about my satisfaction is stepping all over my eagerness. And it's because I've been measuring my eagerness from the lackful standpoint. More people are measuring what they want from a needy place than from a wanting place, from a desirous place. Do you see what we're getting at? Mm-hmm. Just talk to us a little bit about where you're standing and what you're reaching for. Don't you like that you're here in a room full of people and that you barely raised your hand, but you did, and here you are
Yes.
having a conversation that is fine-tuning? And the way you even got in this hot seat is a very good representation of what you're talking about. It's not hard enough for me. There are people all over this room that have been standing on their chairs all day trying to get in this seat, and you barely fluttered a little thought in our direction, and here you are, because there's no resistance in your vibration about it. And so you're measuring not enough resistance. You want more resistance so that you'll feel more justified in what you're asking for. You can have that too, but you sure don't need it.
So being okay with where I'm at and things not happening right this moment, but being at peace with where I'm at is perfectly okay.
Yes, but you said something that gives you away. What do you mean about there being things that aren't happening that you want?
Well, one of the things that I envision is
Busted.
I'm a cycle instructor, and it's a passion of mine. I absolutely love every bit of it. And there's this, in my vision, I've always been like, I'm going to have a studio one day, like I'm going to have my own thing. But also, I enjoy not having the...
There it is. I want the freedom and the fun of being able to do whatever I want with my business, but I don't want the responsibility that ties me down.
Absolutely.
And so everything that you said before was not true.
I am at peace, though. I know it's coming, but am I wrong for thinking it needs to be here now?
But you used peace in a way that we don't use peace.
Okay.
So you're not satisfied with what is and eager for more. So here's the question. Can you just be eager for more? You could just be eager for more. Satisfied with what is and eager for more, that works. But dissatisfied with what is and eager for more does not work.
I am very satisfied with what is, though. I don't
Really?
I feel eager for more. I am.
Well, we believe you, but if we were standing in your physical shoes, that's what we would shore up.
Okay.
We would look for easy existing matches about that. My intention is that I come into alignment with my inner being consistently, so that when I set forth an intention, that the universe can act on it easily, because you don't have to give up your freedom for expansion. You don't have to get all responsible in order to thrive. It's not about that. So many people have taught you that. Much of the world says if you're not suffering and struggling, then you're not getting it done. And here we spend all of these hours together telling you exactly the opposite. The struggle slows it all down. And yet it's hard for you to figure out that, I could just sit in my chair and sort of want to have a conversation and get called on? Yes, you can. You can have your own environment, and you can attract the people that will assist you, and you can call your own shots on every subject. You've just got to define what it is. We said a while back, and Esther has been doing her best to live by this, recently especially, make more decisions in every day. Make more decisions in every day, because as you make another decision, right away you can feel where you are in it. When you make a decision, you can feel whether you're leaning against or leaning toward it. Because if you make a decision and you are entering this field of attraction with a decision that isn't contradicted, you'll be swept as a cooperative component into a momentum that will be exciting right away. The evidence of it will show itself to you right away. But if you make a decision that you're not a cooperative component to, you'll feel the tension of that. And so we think that what is happening with you, this is a good conversation to have, because a lot of people are in exactly this same place. You get this, and it's working for you, and you feel better, and you know what's going on. You're having a good time, and you want to continue to have a good time, and you want to feel your empowerment, but you're a little bit afraid of it. You're not sure what it would really feel like to let loose and really be a cooperative component, because you don't know for sure what's in your vortex. And those like us who can see it, we tell you, well, you like everything in it because you put everything in it. You said, yes, but I put it in increments, and I don't know what it's like now that it's all mixed together. And we say, but your inner being knows. And you say, yeah, but I don't want to be too busy. Well, you'd never say, I don't want to be too happy. I want to be as happy as I can stand to be. Talk about the things that you do want to be. I want to be as prosperous as I can be. Jerry used to say, as long as I've got all the money I can spend, I'll be good. And Esther looked at him and thought, really? She didn't know anybody that ever thought like that. As long as I've got all that I can spend. And Esther thought, well, I can give you a run for your money. She could think of a lot of things to spend money on. When you really get into alignment with the fullness of who you are, when all things feel possible, are you afraid a little bit that if all things feel possible, it will be hard to choose? Well, then put in the equation. I want to be called to the thing that'll be the most fun. I want to be called to the thing that is of the most value. In other words, you get to keep clarifying and amending your desires. It's like living in a house. You created it, you built it from the ground up. It's everything you wanted, and it's got the kitchen to just die for, but you forgot about closet space, and there's not enough of it. Now you're building another house, or you're adding on to this one, and you're adding some closets. No big deal. You're just adding the part that you didn't think about. And you didn't think about it because the closets were big enough then, but now you've got this great big kitchen. The closets aren't big enough anymore. You're never going to stop expanding. And the universe is never going to run out of supplies to fulfill the desires that are yours. And one of the biggest, and this is what we really want you to hear, one of the biggest supplies that it is our promise to you that the universe, with your inner being's focus and point of attraction, will supply, is the clarity and knowledge to know what to do every step of the way. You're afraid that you're asking too big and that then you won't know what to do. But that can't happen. That can't happen. You will know what to do. That's the part that for sure will happen. So when you step into that place where you're willing to dream big because it thrills you to do so, and you're not afraid that your dream is too big because you trust the power of the universe, and because your inner being knows who you are. Your inner being knows your pace. Your inner being knows every relationship that you've ever had. Your inner being has known exactly what you meant in every conversation you had, in every argument you had, in every moment of loss or lack that you've had. Your inner being knows everything that you put into the vortex because of everything you've lived. It's a perfect understanding of who you are. It cannot go wrong. You line up with your inner being and it cannot go wrong. It won't be bigger than you are. It won't be more than you can do. It won't be less than you want. And really, we think that's what you've been sort of going for. You've been going for that even kill. You've been going for that finding balance. We think that you understand that. You'll see. We don't want to, spoiler alert, just connect the dots once it happens and get back to us if you feel like it, because you're on the brink of good things, on the brink of realization, on the brink of doing the thing that this seminar is always about, on the brink of being the allower that you were born to be. You weren't born to sort everything out. That wasn't what you came for. You said, I'll go and I'll live in my world and I will come to my own preferences and conclusions, and you're doing really well at that. And your inner being says, and we'll stand by, and as you launch rockets, we'll ride them, we'll stay with them, we will focus upon them without distortion and without contradiction, and we will engage on your behalf the law of attraction to gather up the cooperative components. And you said, this is a really good deal. And then you said, and I will find a way to let in what you've gathered up. I'll find a way to let in what you gathered up. And your inner being says, and we'll gather up what you ask for. And you say, that's a good deal. And I'll find a way to line up with what you've gathered up. And your inner being says, and we've gathered up what you're asking for. Someone should write a book. Asking it is given. That's how it is. That's how it is.